going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting on-the-road episode of the Viall Files Bachelor In Paradise Edition, and excited to have the one, the only, Bree Springs with us in the studio. Give it up for Bree. Woo! We need a cheering.
Woo!
Bree, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's good to be with you.
I'm so excited to see you guys. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Bree's a friend, so we like hanging out with her outside of even podcast.
Yes.
Just a couple housekeeping things. You want to talk breakfast?
What did you have for breakfast?
Natalie this morning we got in. We were with Ashley and Jared this weekend. We had a lovely weekend of promoting the book, Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday. We went to Boston, thought of you, Amanda, and Boston.
Did you have a good time?
We had a lovely time. It really reminded me of Chicago.
Yeah, it's
the people,
parallel.
Like we went out, like the nightlife of Chicago. It very much, wherever we were, reminded me of River North. So that was interesting.
Interesting.
But
okay.
It was...
and not necessarily the part of Chicago you want to be compared to, but I'll take it.
It's just like it's the people. Even in the fancier parts of the city, it was still very blue collar, that's how I think of Chicago, right?
I got a paparazzi photo of Nick at dinner in Boston from my college roommate. And she was like,
"Is Nick paparazzi'd?"
She was like, "Is Nick in Boston right now?" And I said, "Yeah, I think he is." And like, feel free to like say hi, and you can tell him that you're my college roommate. And she was like, "Well, he's engaged in conversation with Natalie. I don't want to interrupt."
How did we look?
I'll send you the photo. I'll get your POV.
So where did you go for dinner?
I don't know. Where did we go? Oh,
someone you were spotted by the paparazzi at dinner in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for us. Wow. And then we were in Rhode Island. We went to Rhode Island. We went to Audrey's in support of Ashley and Jared's wonderful coffee shop. And I got to meet the baby.
The baby.
And I got the baby fever.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, the baby is really cute.
He's very cute. And then we woke up at 5:30 this morning, drove from Rhode Island here, and then we got here early. And then I was like, let's go get breakfast. And then we're in Midtown, which is basically Times Square, and so we tried to walk somewhere. I picked this place, which seemed like that would have a nice, tasty breakfast. Turns out, it's basically like Chuck E. Cheese for breakfast. It's like we walked into a Chuck E. Cheese.
But what kids are there
on
right
the menu?
now?
On the menu, they had Fruity Pebble pancakes.
That actually sounds delicious.
Mac and cheese pancakes as well.
Absolutely.
How many times have you walked into a restaurant and sat down, took one look at the menu, and got up and left?
That happened to me this summer, actually, in Italy.
Oh, in Italy?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel bad doing that?
I was mortified.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to do it. I was pushed against my will to leave.
No, I think you got to just power through. There is no point in sitting through and being forced to eat.
But you didn't order anything. You didn't order drinks.
They brought the waters. I looked at the menu. Natalie looked at me, and I was like, "We can go. Let's go. Let's go." And we just walked out. We said sorry, and then walked out.
Wait, that's
damn.
I feel like that's maybe a little bit worse to be like sorry, and then
we didn't know what to say. I didn't say
out?
anything. Natalie.
Okay, if it's coming from Natalie, very different.
Said, "I'm sorry."
It's always the girls. Yeah,
and I ran.
So different. So different if it's Natalie.
So I don't know. What are you gonna do? My book is out. Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday. The #1 dating book on Amazon. No big deal.
Woo!
It's been great to hear the responses. I really appreciate all the people who have read it and posted about it and reviewed it. So I can't thank you enough. I hope the people who haven't looked at it yet still give it a shot and check it out. You can go to viallfiles.com to get it from Amazon or Barnes & Noble or support indie bookstores and get it there. From there, it's the same price. If you like listening to books on tape, you can listen to me read it to you.
Your voice. It's great.
Bree's read it?
Yeah, I read it, and I read it last week, and it was literally phenomenal. It's been a great conversation starter. The amount of times I've been referencing your book in my conversations at dinner and at lunch and with friends, I'm like, so are you guys just going to stand by his behavior while he's being a fuckboy? Like, is anyone going to say anything? Like, it's good. It's really good.
I appreciate it.
And if you're single also, because I also got a question yesterday, I didn't ask me anything, and someone was like, how do you be single? I'm 26 and never been in a relationship. I was like, you need to read Nick's book about being comfortable being single, because I can't walk you through why. I can't walk you through why you should not feel bad about being single.
Great book out there.
So read the book.
And
it's a great read. Like, I love how I feel like it's very conversational. Like it feels like we're chatting. You're talking to me.
That was the hope. I wanted to read it. So if it was a woman reading it, or if it was a guy reading it, or gay, straight, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to feel like it was a one-on-one conversation that can apply to And again, the stuff I talk about is, I think, very relatable for everyone in terms of how we feel in relationships. So I've been really proud of how it's been received. So I hope you guys check it out. I really do. I promise you won't be disappointed. And it's been exciting. See, now I care.
Yeah.
Before, when I wrote it, I was like, I don't know if it's going to be any good. And then people started liking it, and and now I feel like it's had some momentum, and now it's like, now I want it to do well. But
what's the best thing that someone has told you so far about the book, reading the book, or their excitement for the book?
Anyone who says they're surprised, that kind of gives me I really, that didn't, I didn't like, therapists reading it and people like that who have read it, who kind of were like, I doubted its content, but I was really surprised, and they started recommending it. Even married people who have read it and said that they've thought it was really interesting and beneficial. Like certainly the parts of where it's just like how to slide into a DM or like dealing with fuckboys in situations, hopefully won't apply to you. But there's other like conceptual parts of the book that I think still, it seems like I was really proud that people found that beneficial.
I felt like even if you're in a relationship, it felt very cathartic. Like it was very much like, oh, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, I was definitely in the wrong at that time.
And most of the book is really just about like handling situations and handling disappointment in the short term. And we get disappointed all the time. So it's really just a mindset. So I think that's why people might, in those situations, might like it. But anyways, can't thank people enough. All the people who came out to support the book at the book signings, I appreciate it. It's been nice meeting you all. Also, and we'll talk about this more this week when I have Kit on for Going Deeper, but I think we're going to start some like local book clubs, some like Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday book clubs that are more like, this lovely gentleman came in Boston and he kind of joked how he was like, one of the few guy supporters, but you could tell the people who came in who like listen to the Ask Nicks, it's like a sense of community of people who want to like interact with other people who are trying to like take these approaches and these mindsets in dating and like how to hold themselves accountable and then accountable for the people that they go on dates with, and like kind of like a support group, I suppose, but like he kind of had this idea. So I think we're going to start doing that. If you are, and if you, and especially in the major cities, if you want to start like I think we're going to start like on Facebook
group,
a Facebook group, like a book club for whatever city you're in. I'd love to do one for men and women, and then have like a co-ed one, because I think it'd be great for men and women to be bouncing ideas off each other and get friends, get the different perspectives, I think. And then it'd be nice for just, women to support women and men to support men. But I think I'd love to have the collaboration as well. So we'll talk about more of that on the next episode. So look for that. But if you want to start one, email us at dtyehbbookclub@gmail.com. if you want to start and manage a Facebook group in your city. And then we'll go from there. And we'll talk about more on the next episode. Time to get into The Bachelor. Allie, take it away with the tea.
There's been a little discourse on Twitter, in the Twitterverse, between one Mr. Justin and one Miss Kira after some Bachelor in Paradise episodes have been airing.
Did you see
Obviously,
this, Brittany?
I didn't see the Twitter discourse.
Okay, they were fighting
Can we get a breakdown?
on Twitter. Yeah, we got a breakdown for you. They were fighting on Twitter. Go ahead, Allie.
Yes. So Kira obviously brought up Stagecoach during her time on the beach, was saying that Justin and Sally had been all over each other. And so she was kind of bringing in, different nuggets from Stagecoach and stirring the pot a little bit with that. And so Justin ended up tweeting, LMFAO, Kira was at Stagecoach. This whole story is news to me. Anything for some screen time, though, I guess. Sigh. And then Kira responded saying, you okay, bro? We had several short conversations while there. Get some glasses and a better attitude. And Justin then goes, I'm sorry, I truly don't think we spoke all weekend. Just odd to speak on and embellish someone's whereabouts and actions so authoritatively that you don't know. And Kira said, we definitely spoke, and I was in the 5-person girl group with Sally all weekend, so I know what I saw. Don't really understand why you're coming at me, but it's all good. And then Kira tweeted her own thing, not in that thread, and it's a photo from Stagecoach. It's a group shot of a ton of Bachelor people in a pool, and she put little arrows, one under Justin and one under herself, and she tweeted,
There's 4 people in between them.
Stagecoach was fun, wasn't it? At Justin Glaze.
We're friends with Justin. We like Justin. He's a sweetheart. And also, like, we can discuss this later. My biggest takeaway, I honestly don't know about these people's character on the show. I'm always reluctant to make assumptions on the character from what we see on the show. It's open for debate whether Kara is a good person or not. I don't know.
Her intentions don't seem there. To me.
I mean, it's like
Good.
I understand having fun and like going for it, but like, yeah, I question her character.
There's nothing more annoying than bringing in an entire story and narrative into a show whenever you barely had any interaction with someone.
Yeah. So Justin made the mistake here, in my opinion, of saying Kira was at Stagecoach. It's like,
yeah, that's rude.
I mean, regardless if she was in
shade.
your group or not, like if you're not familiar with Stagecoach, there's literally hundreds of thousands of people, and you by no means, if you don't see someone there, it does not mean they weren't.
Right.
Right. So like Justin just kind of
oh my God.
overreached on the tweet.
He's sassy. He's really sassy.
Oh, he's really sassy. He's a sensitive soul, and I say that with love. And I think we have to stop using sensitive, especially with men and women, as a criticism.
Yeah.
You know, you're sensitive, and I think it's a positive thing. Justin's a sensitive soul. Yeah, but like Kira, like I don't know what she's. It's like, yeah. I mean, I don't think Justin's coming at her. Well, he did. No, I'm sorry. And he accused her for wanting screen time. I love Justin, but I hope this was a lesson for Justin. Just don't fight on
Twitter.
On Twitter
with
or the internet. Just don't.
With your crew mates.
Yeah, this is like, you want to defend yourself, go on a podcast, I suppose. But also, you know, you can't. And I think a lot of these people need to learn. And, you know, we sit there and recap it.
Yeah.
Stop paying attention to all the critics. Stop listening to podcasts. Stop like going on and like Googling your name and following on Twitter or stop watching the episode. And like, I've noticed this too. Other people are tweeting, and it's like people are just tweeting like, they're just disqualifying themselves constantly on the show. They're like, it just seems like everyone on the show, like no one likes to look bad. I get that.
Yeah.
But everyone's going on, and it's just, they're so adverse to any criticism whatsoever. I'm just wondering like why they went on Bachelor in Paradise.
They panicked. They panic whenever something bad, whenever they get criticized for doing something, they panic and they're like, I have to defend my character, my honor, because this is like all that they're watching of themselves.
I don't know. But yeah, this was a funny exchange between Justin and Kira. And it's, you know, in this picture, a lot of the usual suspects at Stagecoach. What a group.
The Bachelor producers should comp everyone's Stagecoach wristband, because I feel like it is like sustains the Paradise drama consistently.
They really should. I mean,
petition.
Well,
Put it in the budget.
They don't want that credit. You know what I'm saying? Because then it would like get out that they.
They love the raw feel of like this drama happened in the wild.
Yeah. Anyway, Justin, we love you. Kira, we're not sure about your true intentions, but we'll discuss more later in the episode. But Justin, just let this be a lesson. Don't
clap back on Twitter.
Don't clap back on Twitter. Just the best thing to do on Bachelor of any kind, if you get metaphorically punched by the edit, just take your beatings and
let it roll.
Just let it roll. And laugh at yourself, have some fun with it, lean into it sometimes. You know, that's usually the best.
Unless you're Brendan and Piper.
Unless
Do you remember whenever?
That is true. Like Brendan and Piper could have been listening. Like, that's what I tried, bro. That's so good.
I know.
Yeah.
So don't lean into it unless it's going to be detrimental.
If you go on Bachelor in Paradise, get mic'd up, and then like go on a date, and then tell your plan about like leading someone else on, mic'd up. Don't lean into it. But short of that, just it's going to be okay. Yeah. Chime! What's the first thing you do when you wake up? Is it checking on your credit score? Well, I doubt it. I didn't think it was. But at Chime, that's exactly what they do. They wake up every day to make sure that you are taking care of your credit score. With their secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card, you can start to build credit with your own money. Chime reports your payments to the credit bureaus to help you build your credit over time. Their members see an increase of 30 points on average. All this is with no annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply.
And I feel like credit is one of those things, like they don't teach us enough about that in school, and it's kind of a mystery. It's like doing your taxes and building credit. How is one supposed to do that? And when you're applying for apartments or trying to get loans or anything like that, they evaluate your credit score. And so it's nice to know that Chime is like taking the guesswork out of it. And it's just through on-time payments and things that you would normally do, purchases you would normally make, that you can then, like they say, increase your credit up to like 30 points, which is a huge difference in terms of the rates you get, the apartments you get, and the life you get to live.
Start your credit journey with Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/VIALL. That's chime.com/VIALL. Chime Credit Builder Visa Credit Card is issued by Stride Bank, N.A., pursuant to a license from Visa USA. Chime checking account and $200 to qualify direct deposit required to apply for the secured Chime Credit Builder Visa Credit Card. Regular on-time payment history can have a positive impact on your credit score. Impact to your score may vary, and some users' score may not improve. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply except on MoneyPass ATMs in a 7-Eleven or all Point or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Oh, what else we got, Allie?
Well, kind of, I mean, maybe not a clapback. It would depend on how you would look into it. But Teddi posted for the first time after, obviously we saw her leave the beach. And she posted a couple photos on Instagram, and her caption was kind of pointed, I would say. It says, "Something I'm proud of learning. 1, leaving environments that are cruel to me and the people around me. 2, sticking to my boundaries no matter how many times people in authority try to cross them." And then she said she's excited for her next chapter. So a lot of people are like, producers.
I love we should have a new game called, is this aggressive or passive aggressive game? Because I feel like people often confuse those too.
Yeah.
I want to go with aggressive.
This is very aggressive because feel like
Just
this was a very
producers.
direct, very direct at
Actually,
the
no, I have 2 responses. I'm curious what you think. One, I think Teddi's very smart, and this was a very clever response, and it got a lot of people rallying behind her. I think she knew what she was doing. I think I also, me personally, giant eye roll. If I were to comment, which I'm not going to, but it's just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. She was upset.
Your boundaries.
Yeah.
And
they got crossed. But you went on a reality television show.
You went on a reality TV show.
What did you expect? Yeah. It was really smart. I think she approached it in the best way that she possibly could have, and to get people behind you and support you. But at the same time, it's you get what you signed up for.
I mean, quite literally in that sense, you signed a contract that says we won't respect your boundaries.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it.
There are no boundaries.
There are no boundaries.
Yeah.
But brilliant caption on her part. I hope, for Teddi's sake, she has decided she truly wants to be done with this show, because that often happens.
That's literally what happens all the time.
Immediate reaction. I'm going to go to the internet and I'm going to, because I'm feeling, because, after last episode, Teddi, I don't know. Again, I think everyone's, obviously wants to be liked.
Yeah.
And I think it was mixed reviews on her exit. It was an abrupt exit for Teddi. And so I think she was sensitive to how people saw that. And so she went to her Instagram, posted this, got the reaction she wanted. Again, smart for her. And if she's done with the show, great. Then this was a great move on her part. But people often claim to be done. 12 months go by, feeling a little more bored. All of a sudden that engagement goes down. People are they walk into a bar and people don't just notice them and they want to feel that juice.
Oh,
and all of a sudden, March rolls around and they start picking up the phone and being like, hey, what's up? And
Teddi, don't fall back into the trap. But
we'll see.
That happens.
If Teddi's done, I hope she for her, good for her, and be done. There's a lot more to life for Teddi, I think. It seems like she has a lot going for her. And she said she's excited for this next chapter of what the rest of the year will bring her. So
I wonder what that could mean.
Good luck, Teddi. Yeah.
Wishing you all the best, Teddi.
Wishing you all the best. Should we get into the episode? Okay. Yeah, great. Teddi, it opens with Teddi leaving. I love how Brandon sounded like a great girlfriend to Rodney at the time.
Oh my God, how cute was that?
Yeah.
He's listing off all the girls.
It's all the girls are here for you. She's so everyone's excited for you. Just gassing up.
Ultimate hype man.
Yeah.
Everyone should find them a best friend like Brandon.
Yeah. And I feel like women are better at that than men when it comes to hyping up their friend in dating situations.
Yeah.
That
was very cute to watch, especially in a competition, that competitive of an environment. He even went as far as to say you could have my girl if you want to date the same girl again, which was freaking adorable. I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah. And then the girls were telling Rodney. The girls were just like, well, it sucks because Teddi was excited to meet you. And I'm like, no, she wasn't. If she was excited to meet you, she would have met you.
Yeah. She would have stayed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen rumors on that's the thing with the Teddi. It's just like, I heard that she was told to go because they wanted her to be with Andrew. But I'm backtracking. But according to Teddi's Twitter, right, we all agree that Teddi is claiming that she took the high road and left on her own. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
because they wanted her to be with Andrew.
Sure. But she still left.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't want to be with Andrew. And also not Rodney.
Did not want to be with Rodney.
Yeah. And I love not Rodney, but I like how the girls, the women on the beach were just like, no, it's like, it's that classic, no, he likes you. He's afraid he's going to call. He wanted to see you. And it's like, no.
Never calls.
They never call. And then out of nowhere, Lace and Rodney became a thing. That was
Well, he was bonding with Jill and then decided that he wanted to go to the bar. Lace swooped in at the bar. They had a shot and the
rest was history.
Took off.
Yeah, it was just like, Lace was just like, I like you. And her kind of...
That was not expecting that. That came out of left field.
Yeah. I think Rodney's too nice.
Gullible?
Not gullible. I think Rodney was going to like whoever
came up to him and
said, I pick you. Mm-hmm. And I think not because I think Rodney's very sweet and very nice. And I think a lot of the guys on the show are obviously just very afraid of, again, looking like the bad guy.
Yeah.
And even to the extent of like, I don't know if I want to go out with you.
Yeah. It's really interesting watching how the guys have to let the girls down. So like, it has to be this elaborate thing. Like, okay, listen, like kind of like walk you through their feelings and be like, let them down really easy. But whenever it comes to the guys, they're like, okay, I'm just going to go for it. And then we're just going to see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to give in and kiss this girl and then we'll probably have to end it later. But like, instead of saying no, I'm just gonna like do it and then face the repercussions afterwards.
Well, not only that, but like even when the women are rejecting the men, it's just kind of like, hey, I'm sorry, this is happening, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly the guys are a little more nervous of rejecting.
Yeah,
the women.
At first sight, for sure.
Yeah.
Rodney did say when Lace asked him what his type was, and this could have just been like them flirting, but Lace was like, "What's your type?" And Rodney responded with, people who look like you, kind of. So
Rodney's a charmer.
So as much as like that, yeah, that could be like him being incredibly smooth, but also maybe this is a pattern that we're not aware of because we've only seen him like date Michelle and maybe in general.
I have hesitations when it's like he can't even put into, he wasn't like brunettes. Like it was, it was someone who's like, that's exactly what I'm staring at right here.
Right?
Yeah. Anyone that looks like you, well, no shit.
It was a line. And like Rodney's a smooth cat, like he's
a smooth cat.
He's a...
Is it smooth or is it like really cringe?
Well, Natalie made a good point on this episode. When Justin was talking to Genevieve for his birthday and she had just got off the date with Aaron, right? And
that was my favorite scene.
And Justin, love him, but again, not a closer. Brandon, closer. Michael A., closer. It's just a bunch of closers and non-closers. And Justin kind of goes, well, it's my birthday. Can I get a kiss? And Natalie and I were watching
No. He goes, you're not going to give me a kiss on my birthday?
Which is worse than what I said.
Yeah.
And Natalie and I, when Justin said that, because like, we're rooting for our guy, right?
Of course.
And it's just like, come on. And we were like, oh, kind of. And then, but Genevieve gave him a look.
She gave him a...
And then they kissed. And Natalie pointed out, and it's so true, we've talked about this before, I mean, the difference between what comes across as cringe and kind of like cute is when like 99.99999% on the reaction you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like had Genevieve been like, no, it would have been like, bro, why did you beg for a kiss?
Yeah.
Like, Genevieve made that moment cute for Justin.
She did.
I know Justin was mad at Genevieve, but I honestly think Justin owes Genevieve a big thank you for that moment because, like,
she went in.
Yeah, she saved him. Had Genevieve been like, I don't know,
yeah,
like, we would have been like, bro, Justin,
I just came off a date kissing
that?
someone else. Like, it's just not the right time.
Yeah, and like
then it would have made him look like, okay, you're trying way too hard.
Yeah, she made that line almost charming for Justin.
Yeah. Also, it was like a hot makeout. So yeah.
Genevieve, Aaron, nothing makes me happier than seeing Aaron mad or he's just a giant baby. I know I've never had the pleasure of meeting him. A lot of people say nice things about him. I'm sure he's a swell guy.
But I liked how he handled that conversation.
I did well. I did
Justin,
as well.
Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you. I love watching him like get flustered and get heated over watching like women that he likes make out with other guys. But I felt like he redeemed himself in that conversation a little bit. Like he gave her the space and was like, hold on, my feelings are hurt, but this is also a dating show. And I know that I know you're confused. I know you were dating him before or talking to him before. And he was like, this is how it made me feel. But I forgive you. And that was like nice. That was mature.
That was nice. I don't think he's a jerk at all. I think he's just a giant baby.
For sure.
And I didn't
But he has
like
feelings.
when he accused Justin of being manipulative, I thought that was manipulative on the part of Aaron.
Yeah.
You know, like first of all, he wasn't privy to that conversation. So he's just going off what Genevieve said. Genevieve wasn't calling him manipulative.
No.
Natalie wants to know what's the difference between Justin being sensitive and Aaron being a big crybaby. Probably nothing. I just
They're both sensitive.
it's how
sensitive
Aaron
guys.
reacts. I just
Yeah.
feel like
Oh, you could like see his blood boiling like whenever they were making out on the beach.
I'll tell you why. Because so far, when I've seen Justin get mad, he just he reacts in the moment. He says how he feels. He's generally polite. Aaron, going back to last season, he's always blaming someone else. It was always Thomas's fault. It was it's Justin's fault. It's just like everyone's out to get Aaron as far as Aaron is concerned. And it's just like maybe other people like other people and they're just not into you, and that's totally okay. I just don't know. Aaron had a habit of like going after other people when things didn't go his way. There you go.
Yeah. And that was a perfect case in point of him going after Justin, not knowing anything about him or the conversation was like
nothing about
he's
him.
manipulative. I think that was a little maybe not manipulative, but he totally knew what he was doing in that moment. Like he was like, if I get her to kiss me, like it's all like I win. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting with this episode. Shanae and Genevieve are best friends all of a sudden after being mortal enemies.
Loved that.
The
I was
enemy
like,
of my
Paradise?
enemy is my friend. They had a common enemy with Sally. Yeah.
Yeah. I hated that for Genevieve and Shanae. They looked like mean girls to me.
That was chaos.
I mean, like Sally kind of looks like a mess. It's just like, hey, do you want to be on reality TV or not? Like, I get that, but they just decided to go after Sally for
Yeah.
No
It was
reason.
very unbecoming.
Well, and it was just like this constant argument or debate of why she missed the flights, if it was work or if it had to do with this other guy. And I was like, just feels like kind of a pointless argument in that regard, because we all know that everyone on that beach probably, either fooled around or had relationships between their season and going on the beach. So why does it really matter?
Well, that's the point. It doesn't matter. And it's just like they decided to bring it up. I hated it more. Like, for all the defending of Shanae I've done, it was like, Shanae, like, you were the outcast. You know what it's like to be bullied. This new girl shows up. You've now made friends with the in-group, and now you are,
People will be so quick to
Stanford
joining
prison
in.
experiment.
And like, how about we, instead of, you and Genevieve, like, going aside and talking shit and like guessing like they were literally guessing.
Yeah.
They were storytelling. And then like, you know what? She's probably fucking lying. And like Genevieve's like, I know she's lying because Wells told us this bullshit story,
making up a whole narrative.
Well, it's like,
like,
it's Wells. He's like, God on Paradise. So like, Genevieve, what I love about Genevieve though is like she believes everything she says.
Yeah.
And that comes out of her mouth, or everything that she wants to hear is facts. But like, how about we just maybe go sit down and grab Sally and just get to know her and make her feel welcome, and then be like, what was that story with the suitcase? Like, what's up with the ex? Like something like that. But no, they, and I'm harder on Shanae. Like, of all the things Shanae did, don't be a hypocrite. Don't commit the crime of which you felt like was committed to you.
I feel like that happens often in the show.
Of course it does.
Yeah,
but we have to call it out when we see it.
Do you think it's valid though to take issue with someone talking to their ex right before coming on Paradise? Like, I completely agree that it's like a really rude, unwelcoming, like hostile way to handle it. So I don't like agree with them confronting her, but like at the essence of like what they were claiming was there, like, do you think that's a valid case?
Yeah. Do I think getting your personal relationships in order and caring about the mental health of people you clearly have some sort of history with and connection with? Because as we know, like, I don't agree with all the exes that come forward and like get their moment with Us Weekly and whatever. Like, I don't think that's good. But like, there can't be anything much worse than seeing someone you really cared about go on national television and pursue love and potentially talk about you, and that can be a lot. So to like check in, like, no, I think it's absurd that we somehow have this like unwritten rule in Bachelor Nation that like once you start talking to producers, you have to like join a convent and become a monk for the next, few months because you have to like get your soul ready for love on the beaches of paradise. Like what the fuck, I
definitely had to open up that chapter again and make sure I closed it properly to be like, listen, like I'm doing this, like if there's anything you need to get off your chest, let's get it off your chest now.
Totally. So and again, we don't really know the details. Obviously with Sally it was kind of like this relationship has become comical with her like showing up for Clayton season only to leave and then showing up for Paradise only to leave. Yes, it is comical, and clearly Sally is like having a hard time, following through here.
Sally could start a cult though. Like when she was like speaking so emphatically, being like, everybody has dirt and like, I don't bring it, like her whole, like, what did we think of that?
I'm not joining her cult.
I wrote down, Sally's not wrong, Like, was it the time for her to share it? No. Was it her best moment? But like, I think in that moment, Sally got attacked. She just got there. She's getting accused. Like, again, in Bachelor world, kind of like in life these days, like once you're accused, you're guilty.
Yeah.
Especially in Bachelor world. Just the accusation, and then the mob forms, and then people start pointing fingers, and you're on, it feels like you're just alone. It can feel really scary. Literally feel scary. And so what I meant by Sally's not wrong is, I think most people on the beach are incredibly insincere. I don't think we're seeing, they just don't make the Ashleys and Jareds anymore, who are just like, I'm going to go be myself. I'm going to say how I think and feel. I do think Genevieve and Shanae, I guess, are sincere in the sense that you really get their honest selves, but I think a lot of people aren't sincere down there. I don't.
You think they go on to just put on a show or like the best version of themselves? Or
sure.
what?
Yeah. I mean, like I've had conversations with some of the, the people down there, and they, and I'm just always like, you chose the wrong show. If it's like, the guys go down there and it's just like, well, I don't want to look like, I'm just like some pathetic,
That can be tough though, because you literally have a mob coming after you.
But I mean by pathetic, no, they don't have a mob coming after you when that happens. Like they don't want to look like the hopeless guy who like, everyone's feeling sorry for them, and like, the charity case. And I'm like, well, it's either that or look like a fuckboy. You got two choices, So like you don't get to look cool in Paradise for like having swag and being
true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You just look like a fuckboy.
Yeah.
And there's it's two extreme choices. So you looking like the guy who has no game, who can't get the girl, is best case.
Why is that though? Because that's so true. For example, actually, Brandon, I think he has kept his swag.
Because he had the benefit of coming on and he was, there's a little bit of luck that they casted someone he was very into who also liked him back. And that just worked out.
Yeah.
But if Brandon didn't have Serene, it could be a completely different story.
Yeah. Like Justin, for example, I always felt like he was coming off his season with a lot of swag. Everyone like was rallying behind him. But this episode gave me kind of.
I also think Brandon's one of a kind, though. I really, I think he's a special person.
When he saw her, I was like, he's going to be a mess on his wedding day if he's crying before a date.
Yeah. I think it was such a huge miss for them not to make him the Bachelor.
Oh
just an absolute incredible miss. Because
he seems so sincere.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like he's good looking, he's got swag, he's incredibly sincere. He truly wants to find love, but he still holds like his game, right?
Yeah.
And he falls fast. Like he loves hard. So imagine having a Bachelor who's all of these things, who's going to fall in love with like 2 or 3 women, like truly fall in love.
Yeah.
And but also have the sincerity of like checking in and like Brandon would like get fucked over it. And I don't even mean bad, but like it would be emotional hell for him. Yeah. But I think you would come out really loving Brandon because he is thoughtful. He is present. He knows, like, it was such a miss not to have him as the Bachelor.
Wait, they're so into each other. Is there something, I feel like something's going to come out that they knew each other before, they were dating before, they were talking before.
Like I said.
They literally came out on the beach and immediately was like this.
Yeah,
in
I'm
the DMs.
certain. What I said episode 1 is that there's no way they will be able to convince me that they didn't.
Mm-mm.
But my guess is they had something similar to like what Caitlin and I had, which I'm guessing they never met in person, but I bet they like started talking and someone was in someone's DM and
They're
they
like, "I
started
can't wait for
FaceTiming
paradise."
and they had like, and by the time they showed up, they built this kind of emotional
Yeah,
connection
for sure.
and then they met in person and were like, okay, I also think you're hot
Yeah.
and you think I'm hot. And it's
So-
just like they had
Yeah.
an
Which
emo-
how do you feel
I
about
don't
that?
give a shit.
Yeah,
Good
that
for them.
seems
Yeah,
nice.
I don't care.
That
Like
seems
there are
very,
no
like,
rules, like
yeah.
whatever, you know, like
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Yeah. They came on the show to actually give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're here to give us a love story. You know, the only that only gets you in trouble is when, like, again, Brandon, very sincere guy.
Yeah.
Other guys have done what Brandon's done.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, the show gave Brandon and Serene the benefit of having them both be early on the beach.
Yeah. That's
Other
so nice.
seasons, you bring down Serene shows up, Brandon comes in week 3 or vice versa, and it's kind of up to you
Mm-hmm.
to survive. Like the biggest rule in Paradise, and that you saw it, I think, these episodes, know when to go home is like what I think is like, you know, how to be successful in Paradise. Number 1, know when to go home. Don't be afraid to go home. You know, because sometimes like if they don't want you to be there, you won't be there.
If who doesn't want you to be there?
They.
Who's they?
They. Your friends who want you to buy a boat. But yeah, I mean, they're making a TV show.
Yeah.
And if they don't want you to be on their TV show, you won't be on their TV show. And if you are desperate to stay on their TV show, then they'll start being okay with you sticking around on their TV show. It just will never go well for you.
Yeah.
So just be okay. Like read the tea leaves, you know? Good for Romeo at the end. He could tell, like Romeo at the end of the episode when Kira came down, you know, went for Tarzan or whatever his name is. Jacob. And then she was like, do you want to get out of here? You could still, I felt like Romeo was doing a math. They should have had like a little like thought bubble of him doing an equation, because Romeo was just like, all right, I got, you know, this went bad and this went bad. You know what?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, and Romeo had a nice little exit. When you leave gracefully, it's people are like,
people. Yeah.
they
They're
like
like
that.
he knew when to go.
Yeah.
He knew when his time was to go home. Do you think Justin should have gone home then?
yeah. Justin, yes.
Immediately whenever things went south.
Yeah, Justin needs his out. He's this whole back and forth. Like, I understand Genevieve made out with you the night before.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. And the next morning, she was all over Aaron. And I'm sure that's confusing to you, Justin. But in what world do you think
It's a
you should
dating
try to salvage this
show.
relationship?
Yeah, no, you should not. And you should also not demean the other person because you feel like they wronged you.
Yeah.
I thought their fight, it was so telling when like Genevieve was trying to express her needs and she was like, when we were sitting together, you only kissed me once. And he's like, we're counting kisses now. And it's like, they were just both not on the same page. And he like was feeling very attacked when if Genevieve had been vague, I'm sure he would have been like, well, give me an example. What do you mean you need more affection?
I loved their fight because I think their fight was insanely relatable.
Yes.
I think those types of fights in relationships are so common, or even in dating.
Oh my God.
Where neither of them are really doing anything wrong. You just have two people like not compatible or not on the same page. I mean, listen, I think this book was made for a Genevieve and a Shanae in a sense that, like, you know, Genevieve's literally, like, to her credit, like saying, I want to feel special. I want to feel validated. At least she knows what she wants. Now, my hope for Genevieve is that some days she wants to feel, you know, loved, and she wants to feel like happy.
Didn't she
know?
say she was like, I like want attention. I want to feel wanted.
I mean, listen, like it's not Genevieve's fault. That's literally how society has taught us to think, right? You know, find someone who treats you like a princess, and like that's the only notes we get, and then we watch Disney, you know, and there's like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to, you know, but like we don't talk about how people should make us feel. And to Justin's credit, he's just like, I want to get to know you, you know, like this, you know, Logan was the same way with Shanae. It's just like they keep Shanae and Genevieve are like, I need to know that you're obsessed with me. And they're like,
immediately.
And then it's just like, it's day 2.
It was so weird whenever she was like, oh, now you want to be touching my leg? But what if her love language is like physical touch? Like, what if that's her way of like receiving affection?
Totally. But like anyone can touch you, you know? So if that's all it is, I get that's how you trap a fuckboy, right? That's how these fuckboys come into your lives, when you have these kind of very oversimplified,
Yeah.
versions of validation, because like you want to feel validated in relationships, and you certainly
Right.
want to feel special by the people who love you.
Right.
But just feeling special and validated by anyone willing to make you feel special and validated,
You're right,
and
not-
you give so much priority to those moments of validation, like that's how the fuck boys get you. It's just like fuck boys know how to give the compliments and when to spring on the gifts or a little
The
bit
kiss.
of the extra time and things like that, or like give you eye contact and like capture your gaze.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, there was this is what I really like about Paradise. I do think they're doing a good job of making very relatable real world dating situations. The line of, we had such a good date. Like, boy, I get that question all the time. It's just like, we had such a good date. I didn't hear, like, it's just a date. You just had one good day. What did you learn about him? Well, I don't know. I was like, we went hang
so
gliding.
good.
It was just fun. We had fun. That's all I know. And then we kissed, and I thought it was pretty amazing. And I don't know why we're not married. And I think we just have to pull back a little bit. With Paradise, it's different. Obviously, you have the pressure of them,
sending you home, or
sending
not.
you home, or telling you like go
Yeah.
find love or go home. Like it's a little unfair to the people on the beach of trying to like have these thoughtful like conversations because they're being told there's no time.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it is interesting how the show has kind of captured modern dating.
It has done a great job at that.
Well, to your point earlier, I think there's a point when it crosses over from feeling validated to feeling listened to. And I think with Aaron and Genevieve, one, I'm like, they're both so yappy. Like they both love the drama. So I'm like, perfect. Like I think they very much align on like the degree to which they believe one should be involved in other people's stuff or like step in. But then also it just seemed like he wasn't just like being ooey gooey all over her out of the blue. Like it was because she very specifically like said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think like with the fuckboy thing, it's like, are they just validating you in a way that's like kind of like one size fits all? Or are they like listening to you and understanding
Totally.
you?
And I don't think right now Genevieve or Shanae are considering that when it comes to their dating life, And my guess is, even though they have the pressures of Paradise, my guess is I see this in the real world, like with the people I'm talking to on the daily. It sounds like you're seeing it with some of your friends that you're talking to. It's just like the more we date, and we get older and we have heartbreak and we feel disappointment, we always talk about that word baggage. And then when we start dating, we think about what baggage do we have, right? And then we go, and we get in our heads about like, well, I've been broken up with this person, or I had this happen, or whatever. Like, once like the plan we had for ourselves when we were teenagers like starts to veer off course, and it includes like an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend, or maybe a failed engagement, or maybe you got married and divorced and had a kid or whatever. Now we go into dating thinking no one's gonna like us. We just we get in our heads about that. We forget that everyone's gross or annoying, and like the people you're so worried about liking you are just as scared. And we go in there, and that so I get why that fear comes in of just like me, please, because like I'm afraid no one will.
Yeah.
So like I empathize with that, but we just have to try not to. It is an amazing, you look at someone like Genevieve, and she acts like if all Genevieve did, Victoria, she's just such a boss. Like Victoria should give classes on the beach of
that would be amazing.
She should. She's just like, don't care.
Yeah.
Just sit here, mind your own business, act like, just not say it, just act like you don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And then they'll just come running.
So are you advocating for being the cool chick?
I think Victoria is just, she's just truly like whatever. I don't think Victoria's trying to be anything. I think she just is, right? And so I think there's something to be gained from that. She's not trying to be cool in the sense that like to get people to like her. She's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
She just has that I don't care energy.
That
we've
bitch
seen
energy.
Victoria care, and then it goes off the rails. But when she doesn't care, she's like has so much control. Like her charisma kind of pops off the screen. She's got good comedic timing, but I think she could teach some swag classes.
It makes so much sense that she's with Johnny, because Johnny seems to have a very similar energy. So it's kind of like with them, game respects game.
Yeah, I think Johnny has good game for sure, 100%. I don't know how Johnny's game is maybe in relationships long term, But if anyone thinks that Johnny doesn't walk into a bar, Johnny's done very well for himself in
spits
college.
game.
Yeah. Like he's tall, he's good looking, and he doesn't have a ton to say early on, which is honestly
great.
all you really need to do. You just kind of sit back and have people walk up to you and go, "Why are you so quiet? Why aren't you having fun?" And then you're kind of aloof, and then you're like, "Hey, what's up?" And you talk to one person, and then later you show them that you're funny one-on-one. But yeah, Johnny's got some game for sure.
He really does.
And he's
crazy.
he's a closer. Johnny, I think Johnny's a closer too.
I would agree with that.
Do we want to talk about Sierra and Michael?
Can I just say,
Telescope turned into a breakup.
I really wanted them to be together.
Did you ever think they were going to be?
I
Did
thought
you believe
for a
it?
second, I was like, I'm going to walk in here and I'm going to say, please tell me that they end up together. Please tell me Sarah and Michael end up together. But they clearly
I just didn't buy it.
I didn't. It seemed really fast, but for a split second, I was like, okay, maybe he's interested.
She seemed really excited.
Very excited.
He seemed like
meh.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think I said this last week, when you like someone, it's just your wording is very differently. You know, when you like last week, Michael said, "Well, I take things slow, which is normal. That's fine." And then I'm sure, and he said it deliberately. Michael's very smart.
Oh my God, this is bringing back PTSD for me.
And she heard that as, slow's normal. We like slow. Slow's healthy. It's great. But if Michael liked her, he would say something more to the effect of, I really like you and I just know we should take it slow, but I'm just having a hard time doing that.
Wow.
It's
giving me PTSD because it's like whenever I told Matt James on The Bachelor, like, I'm falling in love with you, and he was like, thank you. And I was like, he loves me back. he loves me back.
He just can't say it.
Can't say it.
He just can't say it.
He loves me back. But no, I feel like whenever you're in that environment and your emotions are so heightened, and if you're just given an inch, the environment will just put you in a situation where you're ready to take a mile. And I feel like that's what was happening for Sierra.
Totally.
Which is really damn.
And in fairness to her, she had no
Sarah.
reason not to, it's hard to see that when you're
whenever you're
in
like
it.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he likes to take things slow. I can take things slow, but we're great.
Yeah,
He likes me still.
slow,
But he didn't
challenge
say he
accepted.
didn't like me.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel like, whenever, I know you're not a big Love Island person, but people are so indirect on watching Bachelor in Paradise. It's just like, if you don't like someone, you might as well just get it out there and say, I don't like this person, and maybe they grow on you and you grow to like them. But instead, it's just everyone's in this weird environment of being afraid of stepping on people's toes and trying to not toy people's emotions. So he's very kind in that way and respectful in that way. But it's just just be direct. Just say you don't know if you're feeling it. You don't know what you're feeling.
Yeah,
I like to take things slow. So let's maybe see where this goes.
Yeah, Michael's clearly one of their main characters.
Yeah,
of this
I love
season,
him.
and I love him as a person. And so he has to wear the good guy kind of shield and have these thoughtful talks with Wells and blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
but when Sierra was just talking about being a stepmom, Michael A goes, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
Sure. It's all, in fairness to Sierra, it's paradise, and you have fifth date conversations on day 2. I don't fault her for trying to relate to someone. And Michael showed up. He has been very open about having a son. He's been open about the passing of his wife. This is what everyone knows about him. And he's been vocal about finding someone who can fit into his life. So in fairness to her, I don't know if she was overstepping, because I think she was just dealing with the cards that were dealt. I get it. It's an awkward conversation to have.
It is, because you also I feel like you want to be in a situation where you're I want him to know that I like him. And I also want him to know that this is something that I want. I'm letting him. But I still felt a little, as soon as kids are involved, I'm just it's just best to not.
Yeah, I think Sierra handled it pretty well. I think she was dealt with a pretty tough deck of, she went after what she wanted. Good for her. That's what you have to do. Michael certainly validated her. He didn't like right
Well,
away.
he gave it a shot.
He gave it a shot, which he has the right to do,
Yep.
you know, but it can be kind of confusing to want to be nice, but at the same time direct, because being direct, sometimes you get accused of being a dick.
Well, that's what, I mean, we were having this conversation earlier, but it's like, that's why it's so hard for people to come on the show and be their authentic self, because they're always on the back of their mind, like, I have to tread carefully here. Like, there's a chance in which my good guy, you know, portrayal, or like this character that I've, you know, that I've been portrayed as might crumble.
No, I mean, anytime a guy gets mad on the Bachelor in Paradise, it's it can go like,
and
I hate that.
But I respect him for bringing it up quicker than like,
I felt
as soon as he felt it, he was like, no, let's just snip this in the butt.
He could not go any further. He was running into Brandon territory, you know. And Sierra, a perfect example of know when to go home.
Yeah.
You know, I would have liked to see her stay, and I think the producers made a mistake by not keeping her around, because I think she has some star potential, because she is very open and very expressive, and I feel like she could be excellent television. But however that all went down, she ended up going out, like leaving us wanting more. That's for sure.
Yeah, he was stunning too.
Yeah, so you know, I think she played her Paradise
card very well.
Pretty well. Know when to go home. Don't fight it. Do not fight it. Well, let's talk about Brittany for a second. The first episode, there's this, like, the whole theme was, there's all these guys, everyone's coupled up, we're waiting for more women. And I'm watching it halfway through, and I'm just like, is Brittany with anyone? Like, Brittany seems like an excellent candidate dating option for many men.
Yeah.
You know, like, she's an attractive person. She seems grounded. She listens. So like, she communicates. She seems like very confident. She seems like a person who's like in an adult stage of their life, who knows what value they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just shocked that some of the men weren't like pursuing that. I don't understand. They made it seem like Brittany wasn't an option.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
I guess I was kind of gathering that you have so much, I mean, to your point of it being all about luck, I think a lot of the people who are lucky, who come off like these newer seasons, who are entering Paradise, like they're at the forefront of everyone's mind. Brittany's season was now like our season was like 2 years ago, and she went home so fast. And so I don't feel like she ever really got the chance for people to be like excited about her. But I think in Paradise, it's a really good learning lesson that you have to be very direct and very forward. And she doesn't strike me as that person from what I've seen so far.
I hear you.
Lace literally walks up to Rodney and she's like, "Hi, my name is Lace. Let's go make out on the beach."
Well, I feel like it's a criticism for the men, though, that they just lack either they lack confidence, game, or they're too wrapped up in their Bachelor edit and they're only pursuing known Bachelor entities.
I'm gonna go with that one.
You know, and so it's just like, well, I don't recognize her, and she's not she's not cool, or she doesn't have the followers, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, well, I don't know what Bachelor Nation thinks of her, and all these bullshit reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that definitely plays a role, because like it seems like had any of them just like sat down
Brittany
and got to know her,
hot.
they would have been like, she seems pretty cool and normal and like mature and holds a conversation and like has a sense of humor.
Yeah,
like
that's all I'm getting from her.
That's all I'm just getting like very dateable qualities from Brittany, and like all these other people, not as many. Like,
so why aren't guys interested in her?
I don't know. I that's my question.
I hope it's the fact that she's turning them down.
Maybe they're intimidated by her confidence.
Yeah,
you know, I think that's if that's true, then I fault the men, because you should be attracted to that.
Yeah.
You should be attracted to confidence and someone who knows what they want, and someone who doesn't have a problem telling you that they're not interested. And also, just pay fucking attention and ask questions, and like, you know, like, don't do what Romeo did with her and just talk and go in for a kiss. And like, that happened to her twice.
I was going to say, if Victoria's teaching classes of how to not care, Brittany should be teaching classes of how to get around a kiss, because the woman's now done it twice. And she keeps getting put on daybeds and boats with people like Romeo and Pizza Peter. And I'm like, where's Rodney? Like, swoop on in. Let's go.
Yeah, but to her credit, she does swerve. You know, I don't know if a lot of people
I'm saying
would.
it's a good thing. I'm saying she is excellent at it. Yeah.
She needs to be giving those classes.
And then when she was talking to Andrew and having a little chemistry, she just grabbed him at the right moment. And that's what like different, like Brittany, should like teach men this, right? Because like that was an aggressive move by Brittany, but it landed, right? Because she was listening to Andrew and she was like having a conversation and like paying attention to what he said. And then she was paying attention to the moment, right? Like I wrote down, everyone's complaining about not having anyone to date. Brittany's right there, and then she's forced to go on a date with Peter. But yeah, Brittany pays attention to moments. That's what I wrote down. Like she sees the moment, and then she seized it, and it was great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
These guys are just like talking, then they look up, and like when Peter's like, I got something to make this better, and it's like, oh. I also wrote that Peter always had wrong role models.
Peter, who are your role models?
Because I
John.
think Peter, I honestly think I see like a soft heart in there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad guy or anything like that. And I don't think he means ill towards anyone. I think he's had really bad role models.
That is a lot of men.
Yeah. I think either his brother or his dad are just teaching him all the wrong things, and he's getting really bad notes. So Peter, if you're out there, you need
read
you
the
need
book.
Better role models. Read this book and get better role models. What do we think of Brittany and Andrew? Where do we see that going? I mean, I love Andrew. They both live in Chicago.
I ship it.
I hope it happens.
I ship it. I don't see it happening. I don't feel like either of them are each other's type, but I think if they're open, maybe.
I'm
just really into her redemption arc.
Yeah. I just want Andrew to.
Is he kind of a fuckboy?
No, the opposite.
He's the opposite.
He's the opposite.
Okay.
He's the best. I mean, have you met Andrew?
I haven't met Andrew.
He lights up a room, and like
Really?
I love being around him. Like when Brittany was talking about like his energy, he just makes you happy. He's just great. He's funny, and he's just like, he's very magnetic. But like I said, he's not a closer. Like he's still, for whatever reason,
How does
doesn't
someone
know when to turn like that kind of go for what you want. Again, respectfully and when at the right time, but he's not looking always. He's never looking for that opportunity to really, or just really say how he feels at the risk of, people disagreeing with you, or, it's just that little bit of, you got to risk it a little bit.
Yeah.
And kind of put yourself out there and be bold. That boldness, that's that one part I just would love to see for Andrew.
Yeah.
And I feel like ultimately Brittany, because she's a bold person, I think she needs that reciprocated in a relationship, is my guess.
Or maybe they'll balance each other out.
Maybe.
She dropped that wine glass in the sand. I was like, wow, moment of passion.
Yeah.
She was trying to place it, and now you just watch her just be like, it's not worth it. Like,
I was like, the sand is the only place you can drop a wine glass, and it's not a huge issue.
I feel like Andrew does that thing that a lot of people do when they're, for whatever reason, not just confident in themselves. They will say things like, I didn't think you would like me.
Oh, I hate that.
Stuff like that. These kind of disqualifying things that say, and then at first when you say it, people are just like, oh, it's crazy. You're great. You have all these qualities and blah, 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 blah. But like after a while, they'll keep saying it, and you're like, why do I like you?
I felt that way
you're
about
already
Jill
discrediting
too.
yourself.
Jill has been saying that a lot of, I'm the most single one here. And she's even said that to Rodney when he appeared on the beach. Like, I have no one. I am so single. And I'm like, girl, like, hype yourself up a little bit, because I feel like sometimes you need to.
A lot of people do it. And
look at Lace.
Loose?
Lace. Loose.
Loose.
Loose. That was so funny. Loosey goosey. She is definitely getting after it.
Yeah, I also wrote Brittany. Brittany is a closer.
Brittany is a closer. You can tell she's a closer.
100% closer.
She has swag.
She's also an amazing friend, because like you saw with the Jacob Jill situation, we should totally get into their date quickly. But at the end, when Kira came to pull Jacob, like Brittany handled that situation. Like Brittany saved that. Like Jill spends that night alone before talking to Jacob. She's spiraling. It's out of control. And
yes, Brittany is capable of being a good friend, because I don't think Brittany is worried. Brittany is like I think she's one of the more real people on the beach. She's She knows what she wants.
Yeah.
My guess is she won't be afraid to go home at the wrong time. She will be a friend when she needs to be. She is good. Again, she pays attention to certain moments. I got some sympathy for Jacob because what I feel like was happening with the Kira conversation is she was just gassing him up, and it was just like, I'll let you like make me feel good about myself for 20 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like he was ever really gonna like do anything about it, but she was just like saying all these nice things. And like, you know, Jacob is a guy who, you know, he's a good looking guy and he's kind of this goofball guy. And my guess is that the goofiness, you know, like with Jill, I think sometimes can be like a mask for like, you know, like maybe he gets so used to people saying, oh, you're the funny guy or you're the goofy guy. And that's great. And then you have someone who's just like, you're this and you're that and you're sexy and I like, you know, like, he's just like,
it was
tell
really
me more.
feeding into
like,
his ego.
He probably didn't hear that a lot. And I feel like he was just enjoying someone complimenting him. That's kind of the read I had. Yeah.
Yeah. That would make me so uncomfortable though.
Yeah.
So I can't relate.
But I was waiting for him to, I just want sometimes people just to go, hey, can I talk to you? And someone to say, you know, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Why? Well, I don't ever see that happening, actually.
Most people won't do it.
No.
And I'm not saying it's always appropriate.
Because it could be so rude or come off as very rude, right?
Sure. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like sometimes you have to, that's what I'm saying.
You have to know when
sometimes you have to pick a side.
Yeah.
And often in Paradise, you see that all the time. No one wants to like make a choice. They just want to like, I don't know.
Maybe I'll dip
like,
my foot
and
in
like
here.
they're always doing this like, what's the best thing for me to do to look good?
Yeah.
I think that's too many people are down there. With every decision they make, they're thinking, how do I look good here?
Yeah.
As opposed to doing what would be the best for the person they say they care about, or even best for themselves long term. You know. And yes, sometimes making a choice means someone thinking you're rude.
Yeah.
Or being a jerk. You know, when you are honest with someone, like, why do you feel the way you do? And you say, like, can I be honest? You seem great, but I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
And most people, when they hear that, they're going to think you're a jerk, you know? They're going to want those like confusing maybes and you're special and maybe someday, because they want to hear all the ways that they might have chances. But their ego thinks you're a jerk. But like sometimes that's life. And you have to just, you know, have some character and have some conviction. And in that moment, when Kira walked down after he had this really nice date with Jill, and they got literally naked with one another. He's sit next to her. She went home. She's been bouncing around, literally just trying to date anyone who's willing to date her, so she could stick around on the beach. And he pulls her, and if I'm Jacob, I'd just been like, you know what? Honestly, I just had a really nice moment here, and maybe later, but like right now is not the time.
Maybe later.
I don't know. Who knows? Or he could have said no.
Yeah, just now, like, I'm not interested anymore.
But I wouldn't have left Jill
Yeah.
to go talk to Kira. I mean,
No.
you know, like he saw the drama on the beach with Romeo. It's just, don't do it.
You got to know
So
when.
I fault him for getting up, but once he got there, I understand why he stuck around and listened to her gas him up. I mean, Jared Ashley, love him. He's sweet.
Wow.
You know?
That was the sweetest part of the episode.
They just don't make him like Jared and Ashley anymore.
I also can't believe they aired the footage of Ashley farting in bed.
Oh my God.
I think they added sound effects. Do you?
Yeah, because if they smell that bad, they probably don't have that much noise. An SPD situation, silent but deadly.
Yeah.
Typically the loud ones don't smell.
It made their relationship seem so relatable, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't fart in front of my significant other, so that was cute.
it's
to
like
see.
I'm more of the let's not pretend it doesn't happen. Let's not make each other feel it's uncomfortable. I definitely pretend it doesn't happen. Well, I mean, you won't, but you. I'm just saying, like, there's a difference between. No, you go, baby, that's gross.
Okay.
And I go, what?
Let's
But
not pretend that it doesn't happen.
But like,
meaning-
but like, I'm not. I sometimes forget, or what I'm saying is, I feel like it's fine if it does, it happens. But then there's Ashley and Jared who are just there's no boundaries. There's no.
Yeah,
I
they're
guess.
love.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm fine with like just having a couple. Like, let's just keep it. You know, let's try not to be gross.
That's me. Yeah, that's me.
I think we try not to be gross. We sometimes we live together, so sometimes
Well,
we're gross.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean,
There's always an attempt not to be gross.
Yeah. I can't stand my own like bodily functions and, so it's like, why would I put that on someone else? Like, no, it's not nice.
Yeah. What's Casey still doing there?
Dude, because he's just like kind of like making bitchy little comments about people. And I'm like, you are doing nothing, Casey. Like, you had one rose to give out. Like, you and Sylvie here.
As much as I didn't like love, how Peter handled himself, I think Peter had a bad role model, but like, is Casey going to try to date someone, or is he just going to sit there and...
Why am I blanking on who Casey is? He's the one with the gray hair?
Yeah, he's Santa Claus.
Okay.
Santa Claus with abs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He seemed very attractive in the beginning, but...
He seems like a handsome guy. It's just...
got to know when to go home.
Do we think Genevieve and Aaron are going to last?
No. Definitely not.
If I'm the producers, I just want Genevieve to say she's falling in love, and I want Aaron to say he's falling in love,
and then
with
have
multiple
one of them.
people.
Yeah,
with multiple people, and every time make it seem like it's their first time saying it on the beach, and then hear them convince themselves how last time was ridiculous, and they've learned only to repeat the exact same mistake moments later. That's what I want to see, because that's what they're going to keep doing.
They're not going to last.
No. Do we like the Aaron and James friendship? Does it still play?
Fine.
Yeah.
It's not like doing much for me, but it's like to be expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked how they were like showering together. That was very bro-y and sweet moment for them.
Can you get my body wash, man?
He's like, dude, she's outside. She's going to wait for you while I'm showering.
I feel like Paradise is the friendship love story.
Would you guys have done the naked date?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. Depends on who it was with.
What?
I would be so nervous.
Yeah.
It would be one thing. I'm not nervous to get naked in front of someone that I like
Do you think they were really
have
naked?
a crush on, but
Do you think the balls were out?
I probably think they both were like, all right, let's just do it. And no one,
Do you think his balls were just out? Or do you think he had some nude short?
I mean, you would know better. Like,
I don't know. I just can't imagine people actually
like go
naked.
But they know they're gonna get bleeped out. Like,
no, I get that, but you still have to
expose yourself.
And imagine just
I think they were naked, or maybe no, because that's not fair. If a girl has to show her boobs, then a guy has to show his balls.
Oh, yeah, totally. I'm not saying one shouldn't do it.
I know, but I'm thinking definitely. Because I could see a world in which she was covering up her bottom and he was covering up his bottom. And then I was like, wait, that would actually not be fair to me.
All I could think about too when that happened though, when they're like, well, what do you think? And then Jacob talked first and he was like, well, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then, but whatever you want to do. I would have loved him to just say, your comfort is my only priority.
Miss opportunity.
Yeah. I would have loved him to say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then just say, well, whatever you want to do.
Mm-mm.
That's my only priority. That
would have been nice.
We'll end on that. Bree, thank you for coming. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have any BIP predictions other than Brandon and Serene getting engaged?
I don't feel confident about this, but I definitely ship Andrew and Brittany. And I really hope that Victoria finds a husband because, I love her.
I want Justin to go home for Justin's sake.
Justin has to go home. Yeah, he's failed. He's lost in my books.
But it's fine. He's a great guy. And love is waiting for him outside of paradise.
Definitely.
Where can people find you?
Find me at Bree Springs. And also listen on Instagram. Find me at Bree Springs.
Could you be more specific?
And TikTok. And listen to my next episode with Nick where we get into his book. So I'm very excited about that.
And do you want to say what that show is? And
listen to my
next
next show. I just started a podcast, Yeah, But Who Cares? You can find us on Instagram at Yeah, But Who Cares and TikTok and YouTube.
And you can listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts.
And you can listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple.
Right. Check it out,
YouTube,
subscribe, check out Bree's show, follow her.
The podcast.
Always good to see you.
I missed you guys so much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Come here more often, but I'll see you in LA.
All right. I'm just reading Genevieve's quote. I'm sorry, I have expectations you are unable to meet.
That was so, I can't deal with them. That conversation was it was trash. Yeah. What?
It wasn't disrespectful. I would have, if I were Justin, I just would have said, okay.
Yeah.
That Justin's sensitive. It's fine.
He's sensitive.
It's okay. Thanks for listening, guys. Tomorrow, Kit Keenan's with us for Going Deeper. We'll be chatting pop culture, relationships, catching up with Kit. Topics on the table, Amanda.
We're going to be talking about the continually growing Tom Brady-Gisele Bündchen rumors. We're going to do a quick little update on Adam Levine and Bahati. We're going to talk about Shakira's Instagram post and maybe a little fun Paris Hilton having a good time with a fan who stole from her.
Wow.
Oh, well, thanks for listening, guys. Tune in tomorrow. You won't want to miss it. Go to viallfiles.com. Buy my book, Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday, for anyone who has had any issues at all in any situation with their relationships. I promise you there's a nugget in there for everybody. I really appreciate everyone who's gotten it. And for all of those who have gotten it, if you review it on your social, make a TikTok about it, whatever, tag me, I'll share it. I really appreciate everyone sharing it. Give it to your friends. It's the perfect book as a gift for your struggling friend in the dating space. Also, guys, we know all you Ask Nick fans out there, second update show is on Friday, so 4 episodes this week. You won't want to miss it. I know we appreciate all the feedback. I know you guys loved it. So the second Ask Nick update show, it'll also have updates, texting office hour stuff as well. So yeah, that's exciting. Until then, have a great day. All right, everyone, if you're hearing this, I need your help right now. Between October 11th and the 13th, you can vote for the Viall Files for Pop Podcast of 2022 for the People's Choice Awards. This award means a lot to me. I want to be able to share it with all of you. I love you guys, and me, Allie, and Amanda would be super grateful if you take the time to vote for the Viall Files over the next 3 days. You can vote 25 times a day. So I know a lot of you listen to the show and talk about the show with your friends. Tell your friends. Let's all get together. Let's win this for all of us. I'm super excited. I can't wait to hopefully share this with you. So I hope you guys take the time. Link to register will be in the show bios. I'll put it on my social as well. I know it takes a few clicks and a little bit of your time. So I really appreciate you guys doing it. Again, 25 times a day over the next 3 days. I love you all. I hope we win this together. And I can't wait to share it with you. Enjoy. Hey guys, thanks for watching, but before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos, like our Mondays Ask Nick, especially if you're looking for some relationship stories and relationship advice, as well as our Wednesday interviews with your favorite celebrities and experts. See you next time.